Hello YouTube fans, here again. Been ages since I've done one of these, but I decided to do a movie with them. And I remember doing this before, but I wasn't really that good on it at the time and I felt it needed redoing. One of my all-time favourites by Steven Spielberg or John Hooper. And there's always been that debate who directed it. Was it a Steven Spielberg or was it a John Hooper? But I don't really give a damn who directed it because I still like the film and I still think it's a bladding good film. That being Poltergeist from 1982, the original, the classic Poltergeist. Now it starts off where you get the TV landing. Do, 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 do. I'm not doing the rest. And we all remember, if you've ever seen Poltergeist, the scene where the little girl says hello to the TV, the family wakes up thinking what the hell is going on. And that's when you get that beautiful, beautiful theme tune, that la 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 la. I'm not going to do the rest, but it's all like a nursery rhyme. You get a date scene, you got this really, it's big. Funny thing about Poltergeist, it's a very, very underestimated horror film. It is a very underestimated film. I regard it an horror film. There's no blood, there's no snot, there's no gore, and that's what I like about Poltergeist. It doesn't need all that. It's psychological, it's suspenseful, and you know when it asks what the horrible, horrendous remake doesn't have? Bear with me, I love doing this. Even though it sounded like a piece of metal. Wooden actors. The original has good, competent actors, that being the Feaky family. Now I do know over the years the film had the best of being a bad, cursed film. We all know the actress that played the old sister, may she rest in peace. Sadly to say, got brutally murdered by a boyfriend not that long after completing the film Poltergeist. And then when the second one come out, they had two deaths. And then there was Ethel Rook, the little girl herself. But that's a different story. But the film did have a lot of bad things. But to me, I still like the film. I think it's a damn good film because it has comedy, it's levity, it's like every 2 minutes there's humour. And it has a lot. And it has a lot of stuff in it, a lot of expense because there's stuff where the house is moving. Famous scene everyone remembers where the mum's moaning at Thailand and the chairs are all on the table. I always loved to know how they did that effect. A damn good effect. There was a scene in it what was slightly timmed down. If you ever remember Poltergeist, you see where the mum's talking and suddenly it cuts to one scene the next door neighbour. That was because at the time there was a scene, I could be writing one day, where there was advertising. I think it could have either been pizza up, and they could have the rights, you know, because of marketing and all that, to sell pizza up. So the scene, sadly to say, is cut and deleted out. If I could ever find that scene, please someone let me know if there's any way on this site I could find that scene. I'd love to see that scene of what it would have been like. But there was a scene where they're talking about Pizza Hut and it was cut down. So that's why if you ever notice that scene, you think it's slightly cut and it's slightly timmed, there's your answer. So things are moving in the house and so on. And the next thing you know, you've got the famous scene where that big T comes out, eats a little boy. The family's going doolally, thinking what the hell's going on. But it's just an excuse to get Tara, the little girl, played by Ethel Rook. May she rest in peace. And this is where the film hits a knots. You know, they've got people going into the spirits, you know, they deal with spirits in ghosts and deal with what the film is. Poltergeist. Now, this is a bit where I've got to admit, that's good acting. Something that horrible, horrendous remake does not have. I'll tell you what it has. Pieces of wood. Pieces of wood, gold actors. This one did not have wooden actors. What it did have was damn good actors. I say it again, damn good actors. And because there's a scene in it where the spirit and they're trying to get Tararan and the bit where the air hits the muffler and she says that beautiful line, she went through my soul. And every time I hear that scene, honest to God, I'm crying. I am literally crying. I mean, I'm crying in real life as a grown man. I'm a grown man now. You know, because of the sad death of Ethel Rook. She was a lovely, lovely, adorable girl. And it was sad she lost her life at a very early age. But the performance of the mother, you do not see that in the remake. All you see is, I'm not doing it again, you get it, a wooden axis. There's no wooden axis. I love the Feaky family. It's a typical American family. So they get this other woman who's like this little woman, everyone knows her, Tanzaline. and they're trying to get her, and I love the scene where they manage to get her. She falls out. There's a bit where everyone remembers where the skeleton's head comes out and the father's screaming, and you think it's going to be a happy ending because they've got Tara Lan, and the woman who's dealing with the spirit says, "This house is teen," but we all know in the ending of Poltergeist that's not the case. There's a bit where they're about to leave, and long behold, the spirits are coming out to try and get Tara Lan again. I love the bit where the Muffet's trying to get Tara Lan, and the hallway stretches out, and they got that Joe, and it jumps on the little lad, and it's attacking him. The little lad's scared of this fucking Joe thing, and it jumps up, and it's trying to attack him, and he said, "I hate you, I hate you." But the bit what made the film is the father, as we all know, is a door-to-door salesman, not a door salesman, he's an house person, it sells houses. And the boss of doors wanted to save money. You could buy into this. So what did he do? What did he do? What caused all this? He got the house, knocked the coffin stones out of the way, because it used to be a cemetery, and he built houses to save a bit of this. That's all it was, just to save a bit of this. And that's why the house was the way it was. So he discovers that, he finds that out because his boss was boasting that, oh, to save money, we knocked a couple of gravestones out of the way, we got rid of the bodies, which is not the case. He didn't. All he did was he removed the gravestones. I remember the scene where the father's saying, "You removed the gravestones, didn't you? Why? You probably think it's over the top. I just buy into that. And I mean, I would go mad. Your little girl goes missing. Spirits have got her just to find that out. But we all know, if you've ever seen Poltergeist, it was inspired, I think it was an episode of the Twilight Zone called The Missing. And that's what inspired Poltergeist, was a story from the Twilight Zone. Have you ever seen an episode of the Twilight Zone in the 60s to do with a little girl that goes missing? It was from this where it inspired them to do this film, Poltergeist. And the scene where they have a debate, that the scene with bodies and the firing everywhere and the mufflers going doolala. There was a lot of rumours at the time. The scene where she's in this dirty water and you got dead bodies and corpses, that they did use real corpses and real dead bodies. I always like to think at the time that probably Steven Spielberg used a few of the dead corpses what was used in Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, oh, I've got some of them going spare, we'll use them. But whether it's true or not, and they did use real bodies, it's a different story. But again, people said that's why the film was sourced and all this. But I'm not one of them that buys into that. I watch it as entertainment, and the film, in my eyes, is entertainment. So the family drives off. The father dumps the TV outside. I always remember that scene, and you get that beautiful story again. La 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 la. I'm not going to do the rest. I won't do it justice. But I love Poltergeist. I love it. It's a classic. I mean, I can watch it religiously. The acting is there. It's got humour in it. There's bits where even I'm crying because it's some dud performance. Something that horrible, horrendous remake, which is the Wooden Family did not have. It launched a sequel a couple of years later. It launched a third one, which I think is a piece of shit. And it was a damn good one. Steven Spielberg made a good one. Whether Todd Hooper or Steven Spielberg made it, there's still that debate today. But whoever made Poltergeist, whoever directed Poltergeist, made a dud horror film. It's not even an horror, it's everything I love, you know what I mean? It's supernatural, it's suspenseful, it's got some damn good special effects, old school practical effects. And if you can ever find it on YouTube, there was a making, I'm not making this shit up, there was a making back in the day. If they're still on YouTube, look for it. Just look, type in, say, the making of Poltergeist, 1982, and there was an original making, and the set and what they did, wow, damn good making, good biography of the film. Do you find more typing up YouTube than the DVD? The DVD don't get diggity dee, get some biography about the spirit world, and I don't even give a shit. You know what I mean? But the making is damn good. It was a damn good biddy. It made, like I said, well, there's a sequel, and it's a good one. That's Poltergeist, shot in 1982. And whatever you do, don't go into the light. But in this case, I'm going into the light because I love Poltergeist that much. A 10-star rating. Into then. See you later.